In 2009, when President Barack Obama gave his first State of the Union speech, I said that President Obama, then new 44, the 44th President of the United States, had replaced Ronald Reagan as the great communicator. Now, on the eve of his final State of the Union speech, I say this: Barack Obama is one of the greatest presidents the United States has ever had. Let's consider his accomplishments. First, the economic stimulus package, which was needed and installed at a time when some thought we would not get one, and it did the job. It lowered unemployment, increased dollar flows through the community, and most importantly, because it lowered unemployment, obviously, created jobs. And then there's the other significant accomplishment. Like it or not, you can make up all the excuses you want to. The simple fact of the matter is this: President Obama got Osama bin Laden. Period. And then many other accomplishments, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Wage Act, for example. But let's not forget the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, which has helped many people and lowered healthcare costs for millions of Americans like myself. President Obama, on top of his numerous accomplishments, was one thing no other president in United States history ever was: black. And with that comes, and has come, a number of unique situations that we may not see again for a while. Even when Barack ran, he had to deal with questions regarding his association with, for example, Jeremiah Wright. He once said that he had to be careful not to come off as very angry, which, if you think about it, is quite unlike Donald Trump. And that's because of America's fear of a black, straight guy in full flowering expressing his opinion and anger about anything. Sad. But in the act of being this cool, calm, calculating, caring president, Barack Obama changed America. For the first time, minorities, not just black kids, but minorities, saw a black man calling the shots, in charge, making decisions. And because of that, there are those who didn't want that image to be presented to America, who would make up stories and full observations and full analysis in an attempt solely to wreck the image of Barack Obama as a solid, sound, intelligent decision maker, the chief decision maker, or if you like, the chief decider of the United States. And in process, what that revealed to me as an observer and as a victim of the same kind of behavior is how much image is attached to an idea. In other words, if a statement comes from a person because they look a certain way, because, say, they're white rather than black, and we're more prone to believe that statement, that presents a view of a society that is truly psychologically broken. What a person looks like should not be the driver toward obtaining the right answer or the right decision. It should be pure and simple analysis from different sides leading to a conclusion. But the reality is, more often than not, we structure an image for people in charge that we want to see. And more often than not, in America's history, by far, that image has been that of a white man. Barack stopped that for good. And in so doing, he sent the message that the truly intelligent person looks for the right answer wherever it may be. It could be with someone who is a woman. It could be with someone who's black. It could be someone who's Jewish or Irish, or if you like lifestyle, gay, or transgender, LGBT. The point is, it doesn't matter where the right answer comes from as long as we get the right answer. And if we get to that society, all of us will be better off. We won't be damaged by a marriage to an image of what the deliverer, the messenger of the right answer should look like. Barack Obama changed American society for the better in that way alone. That's very, very powerful. He said to kids, you too can be, black kids especially, you too can be president of the United States. It said a rising tide lifts all boats. That's not true. Excuse me, that is not only true financially, it's also true psychologically. An America that doesn't have black kids who think highly of themselves is an America that will never, ever realize its full potential as an economic society. You can't want that to happen because it hurts everybody, regardless of color, in many different ways. Barack came along at the right time. Barack Obama was the national result of the vast number of people, friends of yours in high school or junior high school or elementary school, who was the black guy in the room who had the answer, but you didn't think of him as the black guy. You thought of him as a popular guy, a cool guy, a guy you hung out with. And over time, we had enough people grow up in American society knowing guys like that, and also women, to which we collectively said in 2008, that guy should be president of the United States. And that's what happened. Something else too. Barack Obama was and has been the first president of the social media age. Nor the president has had to be concerned with getting a message out through Reddit or Twitter or Facebook or blog. Indeed, the foundation of success of the campaign, the first campaign to get Barack Obama elected president of the United States, was a genius social media website. It did a lot to galvanize support, exchange ideas, and move action much faster than the norm prior to that time. Everything about what the president has done has been 21st century, modern, reflective of a new generation. Exciting. That is not going to be seen for some time, and it's going to take someone else going in office who's more, if you will, conventional for us to appreciate how wonderful, how terrific President Obama's 8 years in office has been. Over that time, I have watched the United States become more beautiful than it already was. When President Obama gave his acceptance speech at the first Democratic National Convention, I saw something I've never seen in my entire life. I saw adult black men waving the American flag, running around the stadium. I've never seen that before in large groups. I mean large groups, smiling, happy, because they, we, me, we all finally felt like we were part of this thing we call the United States of America, that we mattered as people. And you would say, oh my God, that's terrible for you to say that. You should never think that. But look, when you've been discriminated against in so many different ways, large and small, sometimes small, so small that we have a word for them, we call them microaggressions, that such a reaction is the result when someone who looks like you, if you will, becomes president of the United States for the first time. That's incredible. Over Barack Obama's time in office, we've had more and more interracial couples in commercials. When Barack first started as president, you'd be hard pressed to find anything. Now they're completely normal. That is a dramatic change. A dramatic change. So you have to really look at how Barack Obama impacts American society, not just his decisions and accomplishments, but the power of image that is the President of the United States, and the power of the President of the United States by his or her image to be able to affect positive change in American society. Barack Obama has done that. He has moved this country toward a positive future socially. Now, I want to close with one thing. Some of you are going to comment, well, the United States is more racist. No, actually it isn't. There's a difference between being racist and race conscious, okay? A vast difference. It's okay to appreciate differences between, for example, my skin having more melanin than someone else's and therefore being less susceptible to skin cancer. And so we think differently about whether or not we're going to wear a hat on our head. Don't consider doing that as much. That's expected. Those are differences. But rather than try to hammer us all into these one pegs of being the same, accept the fact that we're different. And enjoy the differences. Make fun of them. That's what it's all about. No one wants to be like anybody else. We're all screaming to be recognized, particularly in a social media environment where everyone's trying to tell their story. Okay? Barack Obama made it okay for us to be different. And yet enjoy our differences and come together as one. That's what he has been trying to do. That's very, very powerful. And that is why I say he will be has been, and will continue to be considered as one of the greatest presidents we have ever had.